bit of my default number starting off, just to compare, in case you wanted to compare this with any of the other YouTube videos I've done of various uke banjos. So there's a little bit of Ain't Sweet, and as we're playing a resonator type uke banjo, I'll also be doing a little bit of George Formby-ish stuff to finish off with. But first of all, we're going to have a look at a general look at this uke banjo and try and pinpoint it in the scheme of things. First of all, let's have a look at the name on the peg head. As you see, the little brass plaque tells you it's Jedson, which is a registered trademark. The important thing about Jedson, for those not in the know, is that it's a little amalgamation of the initials John E. Dallas and Son, which of course brought out the George Formby range of ukulele banjos. Now, I think this is probably predates the George Formby ukulele banjos, because it's highly unlikely that they wanted this to compete with something that was they wanted to push to the fore. The George Formby ukulele banjos anyway are slightly different in style because they were loosely based on the Gibson uke banjos, and this is different in many ways. For a start off, it's got quite a heavy brass, nickel-plated brass tension band on the top, and if I bring it a little bit closer, you'll see that it's actually grooved on the side, which is a very clever way of getting the pressure onto the band without the hooks actually coming over the top and being uncomfortable for your hand to play. I don't know what happened to the original tailpiece, I have to admit, and this is a sort of modern version of the old Grover tailpieces that they used to put on the Gibsons. It's also got some modified flanges there, meaning that they didn't go all the way around the rim, just filled in and give a little bit of support around the tension hooks. And it may be obvious or not that the tension hooks have a rather unusual spacing, which I will explain in a little minute. But first of all, I'll show you some of the features of this Jedson. As you see, it's got rather an unusual shaped peg head, which is quite aesthetic. Again, it doesn't have the original pegs on, so I've put some sort of modern Grover copies on, non-slip pegs, which seem to be holding it fairly well in tune. It's the fretboard is not very worn, and as you see, it's got some very nice pearl markings there. There's the 12th fret region, pair of wings there by the look of it, and now I'm going to show you that it's got a sunburst finish of my own devising, which is sort of Gibson-esque, and this was done several years ago. In fact, I've had this uke banjo quite a long time. I had it a little time before I decided to restore it, and the thing that provoked the restoration is the fact that the rim was actually split, and it was actually split around the circumference of the rim where the lugs go to hold the tension hooks. So it had obviously been over tightened to get the head cranked up really tight, and in the process of bending the hooks, these are not the original hooks, it also cracked the rim all the way around. The original rim was made of ash. Now, I used that rim as a base, but I repaired it with fiberglass. Now, I don't know if you can see in this very poor light that it's a sort of a mottled mahogany colour, which was my attempt to get it to look somewhat like wood instead of fiberglass. And it was reinforced both inside and out, and the reason therefore for the hooks being resituated kind of asymmetrically is to avoid the original holes which from which the cracks emanated. So there you have it, the explanation in a nutshell. So while I was on the job, I also decided to refinish it so that I could blend the colour in. As you see, the back's a fairly dark sunburst and the rim's very dark as well, to match in with the rim. And at first glance you couldn't tell that that rim wasn't in fact a fully original wooden rim. I like to think, and it seems to work very well. The tone is a lot mellower now than it used to be, but it's still very beefy. I remember that from when I first got it, but it was a lot sharper with the plain ash rim. But of course that was on its last legs, wouldn't have lasted anyway, so I have no regrets about doing the restoration. I also smoothed off the heel while I was in the process, because I don't particularly like sharp corners on heels. They're not comfortable to play, and also they attract it's the obvious place where they're going to get dinged and chipped. Having said that, this was done quite a number of years ago, so it does have one or two little tiny chips on the edge of the resonator there at the bottom. So it's not brand new by any means, but there you are. It's a fairly new vellum as well, and a new set of strings, although you probably may want to fit something different. I can't think of anything else to say about this at the moment, but if anything strikes you, you know, makes you want to query anything, please give me a ring. My phone number's always on my eBay auctions, and the prime reason for this video, of course, is to clarify the information that I've got on the eBay auctions. So if you have any further queries, give us a ring and I shall be happy to shoot the breeze with you. But don't email me, please, because I hate one finger typing. That's why I say phone me. Okay, we'll finish off with something a little bit George Formby-fied, and oh, one thing I forgot to tell you before I finish off, and that is it's got quite a nice strong case with it, but the case needs one or two more little catches, because the catches have been replaced by straps and one of them has lost its buckle. But the case is otherwise very fine condition. It's got a good handle on it too, so it's worth restoring. So it's a nice little outfit, and I'm sure it will suit somebody who wants something a little bit unique, because having had this restoration, I know there's nothing else like this floating around with a partially fiberglass rim. Okay, thanks for looking, and I hope you like the look of it and might risk a bid on it. So we're going to finish off a little bit of George Formby. A little bit of the window cleaner, I think. I go cleaning windows to earn an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you would be, if you could see what I could see. When I'm cleaning windows in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this brinking ladder till I get right to the top. Thanks for looking. Bye now.